along with that program and stuff like that,
get,
and a full water tank, 25-gallon water storage tank, and all them stuff.
we
And here
get
you are
all of
getting more
that
water storage
and
tank
products.
again, and you're also getting more water
We get
tank,
an
additional water tank. Here the minister talk about it, the premier talk about it.
we in the process of getting another 30,000 gallon tank. We get one with 20,000.
Yes.
The old system that
Yes.
was there was refurbished by the Department of Agriculture. We get a new tank with 20,000. We're getting a new tank that's in the process of erecting right now, which is 30,000 gallons. We get, as you say, a whole perimeter, which includes about 9 farmers. Whole perimeter with electrical fence and everything. And we just didn't maximize, didn't use it properly. It's still there, but we didn't use it. So that's why I said in the beginning, we have to sit down and we have to tell you, we will help you, but we're going to demand from you. We need an answer for you. Why are you not successful? That is something that we have to do. We have to cut this about, going around the bush. No, we have to demand. You getting this, why you not producing? If you say you need this and you still not producing, what are the reasons? And we together, the farmers and the institutions, have to come together and find a common solution. What are the reasons? Why we not improving the way we should? Why we still imported 24,000? We cannot grow cabbage the whole year, but we could grow at least 4 or 5 months of the year. We cannot grow sweet potato year round because we know we have a problem with sweet potato, which is sweet potato weevil. We call the blight. We know we have a problem, so we have to see what is the solution because people demanding sweet potato. We have some sweet potato coming for, and people do not want. Yes, people do not want it, but they have no other choice because sweet potato production is always low. Sweet peppers. You go to the supermarket every week, you see yellow, orange, red and green every single day coming from overseas. California, Miami, Mexico, whatever, I don't know. How much we could cut the importation. And those peppers that do not come at certain size, we could take them to agro-processing, we could slice them and put them in a plate and sell them also. All of those things, you understand? All of those things. So that is the thing that we really have to have this discussion. I don't know how much I have to emphasize. I don't know how passionate I have to get about this, how concerned I retire supposed to be just relaxing. But you see, when you grow in the agriculture sector, you grow with love. You cannot separate yourself from this. You just see production, you just see improvement. You just want to be part of the whole thing. You understand? I did a training for the extension staff in agriculture the month of November, 2 days training. The first day I took them in the field and I took them by farm to do an evaluation of the farm, and then we came to classroom. The objective is for you to take each farmer individually and say, okay, farmer Jason need this. Well, we visit Jason, whatever my mother. He's a witness what we are talking about. So what are you planning to do? No, we suggest you do this. This is because of the type of farmer who you are. This will be convenient for you. This will be convenient for neighbors. If you do this, it will not be convenient. So that might be that should be one of the approach, customizing the technical advice to farmers, because each farmer has a potential and each farmer has some weaknesses. And then you have to combine the two of them with your support and see where we have a middle ground to make him successful, to come from 30% to 45, 50% production. And then continue to grow and continue to work diligently, visiting him every day, every month, every year with him, doing you all the time. And you have to, after you do that, you have to demand the farmer. I don't see no improvement. You have to sit down with the farmer and say, listen, I do not see you improvement. We need to solve this. We need to know what do you need, because you have this what you say you need, and we still do not see nothing. And then when the farmer comes to his utmost best within his capacity, Then he had to say, yes, but you're not giving me this. I need a little more effort from you, the institutions. We have to do that. Or we could continue to talk this 30 years from now. The point is that we still importing this. You don't have to believe me, just go to the supermarket. We import mint every week. We import butterscotch every week. Every week we import tomatoes. Every week we import in tomato. When this is the production, this is the peak. January, February is to be the peak of production season of tomato. I know some will come. Well, we still importing. We importing watermelon right now. Cantaloupe, honeydew, people buy them. We say, oh, the nursery, local people do not want to buy them. Well, they buy them every week from the supermarket. And the farmer need to see them. Like, the farmer have to go to the supermarket and look at them. And develop consciousness also. We, the professional, have to go to the supermarket every week, as I do. I go to the supermarket every week. And I look. And I see prices. And I see trend. And I see weaknesses. I see opportunities for us here. I want everybody, the politician, the non-politician, the technician, the cost, the consumers, everybody just go to the supply and pay particular attention going forward. Pay particular attention. You understand? We have tremendous opportunities that we are allowing to just all this money from the import is money like in a container with no bottom. The money goes off and off and off. And when the container do not come 1 week, panic. Or if that delay 1 day, panic. Panic. And then we have to really sit down. Banky, yes. And everybody listen. We have to have this discussion. We cannot continue the way we are. Because
Mr.
it's
James,
insanity to pretend.
Next month as we speak, is the 30th anniversary of the Agricultural Open Day. So
March.
you know it's gonna be a
March.
Well, yeah, March, yes. March, yes.
March.
And one more day in February in Togo tomorrow, and then February, then March. So in March,
yeah.
Okay.
In 2 months.
Will be, in 2 months. So the ministry gonna want to put on a spectacular show on all this stuff. So, but the food import will remain the same. So everybody gonna be planting up and to have a survey. But after that gone, we're still back to normal. So what should be the motto? So if it's 110, we need to be serious. Is no. So they need to make a pledge going forward, and I hope they're listening to this conversation from someone like you who, I just say they did a training with this stuff in November gone. You see what I mean? So which means they're still reaching out to you and they respect your expertise. So why they're not, the government don't have you why the minister don't have, the premier doesn't have you an advisor to him, an advisor to the premier, because he's the commander in chief. So if agriculture failing in some way, can do much more, and then you mean they must have to inject money within the sector where if businesses can have access funding from our institution, where the government policymakers make sure they have access to it, why can't they take funding and put it there and have someone to guide those who get in the funding, make sure they understand the business part of it, and what they say they're going to do with the money is actually come out and see that they still don't want to get this machinery. The machineries are out and the machine and all these different stuff like that. Because we got to make this work. Is either, remember, we're speaking about bringing in 50,000 people here on the island. We're speaking about bringing in deportees. But what are they going to need? Stone? Iron, bring in more food again.
Well, we have to grow more food.
Yes, we're improving tourism, we're bringing more cruise boat, but at the same time, we're growing less food. You see? Something that makes no sense. And then if the cost of these seeds and the inputs are going up, but the cost of the food going to go up too. So you have to look into all these moving parts.
Yeah, we have. So you mentioned open the 30th, right? So I would like to pledge for us to say, open the the before and the after. We see what happened in the last 13 years, and then we move to see, we see how much we achieved in the last 30 years, and then let's see how much we can achieve going forward. We should put in our mind the before. So we have to take this as a way of measuring how far we came and how far we could go.
A
And
fresh
take a
start
stand on that.
in the future. Take a fresh start in the
Yes.
future where you have to do better.
Yes, we have to
You
stand
must
our stand. You
improvement. You
understand?
must improvement.
Yes, we have
Yes.
some. We are serious. We have 30 years of success, and we measure how much we have, and then we see going forward how high, how far we want to reach. Everything is we have to develop a vision, a vision, a vision. So I was saying that in New River we get a lot of stuff, but I was told by the president of the farmers group in Argentina. I asked him how what determined the success of your association. He said just a vision. If you have a vision where you want to go, that makes all the difference because you will reach there. So all of us have to determine what is our vision, where we really want to go, where we really want to. We really trust, and also we have to trust our vision. We have to trust. We trust what we're saying. We believe in what we're saying. We really, really believe what we're saying, and we really want to achieve it. We satisfied with whatever level of achievement we have. We have to determine well how far and how high we want to reach, and if this is in reality what we're looking for. And then I could tell you, once you have a vision, everything is a piece of cake. Everything is a piece of cake. I used to have a farmer who came from America, small farm. He had 1 acre of land he wanted to develop, and this is Philemon, Philemon, so I ask your name. So he told me he want to develop, so I give him the assistant, and you work with him, bank, very good, you work with him. And then he told me, he said, yes, I want to do this. I said, yeah, that's easy. He said, yeah, I want to do this. Oh, yeah, that's easy. He said, boy, everything is easy for you. Yes, because I am part of this. And we achieve everything what we wanted to achieve. He bought his plant. He brought his plant from
Yes.
Miami. He wanted drip, fence, and we did it. And we were successful for the time being, you understand?
Yes, of course.
And that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. You have to put your hand in the ground. You have to focus. And it's 100 meter. 100 meter is 800 meter. Is 20K. Let's go for 20K, starting perhaps with 100 meter. But we have to focus. We have to develop a vision, a new vision. Before 30 and after 30th, this is the new vision after 30th.
Yes, son.
Yes, I'm just gonna go through a couple of the comments on the Facebook. Anik Morton says, "Good evening, guys." Renwick Jeffers says, "The boss, people in charge, the people in charge, just look at the salary, not progress for the future of the nation." Said, "I am sad right now from how leaders deal with agriculture and healthcare. Keep on pushing this
Yes, sir.
agriculture agenda to the fullest." Ines Phipps says, "Good evening, guys. Boston in the
Good evening,
house."
Ines. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's really a challenge when we have passionate people like ourselves where agriculture is concerned. And what we're seeking to do tonight is, as much as possible, put out some information, help folks to see agriculture from the money side of things, see what you need to invest, see what you can get in return, and look at the numbers as it relates to importing, and see how we can seek to tap into that and fill that void, fill the gap in some way, shape, or form. Like Brother Walcott would have mentioned, we might not necessarily be able to bring it down to 100%. We might not be able to reduce it to 100%, but if you aim for 10%, if you reduce it by, 15% this year and the next year it's 20. Um, will be the organization on the island. You can get involved with one or help in some way, shape, or form to inspire those who are involved to get involved and get more active. I know it's one thing to get people involved in cooperatives and in Nevis, seemingly. There is a little challenge, even though their folks who might be involved in cooperatives, they don't quite see the benefits. Sometimes they do, because sometimes they do benefit as well. But sometimes it's a case where, they benefit, but when it's time to put in the work or it's time to commit to something for the cooperative, that's where you find a little bit of challenge. So, what can you say to seek to empower those who are already involved in cooperatives and to encourage even more people to get on board? I know sometimes it's challenging because you sometimes don't even get the credit that you should get. Because I mean, I listened to the premier speak about the water project, and from listening to the premier, I know, because I guess I'm involved with the cooperative, that the cooperative was and is very instrumental in terms of that water facility and the solar pump that is supposed to be erected and all that. And even that should have been given the cooperative should have been given some credence and some recognition, because they are the ones who have been putting in the hard work over the years and have been doing whatever behind the scenes. Yes, they get assistance in some cases from the Ministry of Agriculture, but the project itself is a brainchild of the New Rivers Cooperative. And I think sometimes too, they do things and they don't get the kind of promotion that is necessary. So speak to that if you can.
Yes, you will never get the praises like Molla, and who have been working for the longest one. You never get the praises that you deserve. But once you're a leader, you don't pay attention to them. You just work like hard. You understand? And there are other groups that lead in the group. They lead in the association. But also, when you have a group like that, you have doubters. You understand? You have a lot of people who doubt that it benefits all them. You have all kind of people. You understand? So you just continue and throughout after they see the success. Sometimes it takes 10 years, sometimes 15, 20 years. You just have to continue, and then slowly but surely, one or two of them will continue to, approach the group. And once you have young people and female, you're satisfied with them. We have a good number of females now in the group. We have some young people, new farmers in the group, and that is okay. We want everybody to be involved, but also not everybody is doing farming anyway. You know what I'm saying? But we continue to encourage them, we continue to invite them, continue to show them the success that represents being together. Because New Farmers Cooperative is known around the world now because we're together. And everybody approaching us. We're not approaching nobody, they're approaching us because they see the sustainability and they see the seriousness of the association. And people now willing to accept all those projects that we wrote. Most of them people approach us to tell us that money is available. And it was just for Mola to get somebody to help to develop those projects, you understand? And we get where we are. And as you say, we have an ongoing project coming, another grant for us in the near future. We're not quite determined yet in what area we will do it. But we just want to encourage people to, this is a good time to join. This is a good time to join. You understand?
How will these additional water now? You have an extra 30,000 gallon tank along with a 20,000 gallon tank. How will these additional water help when it comes to the food production and the sustainability in that area and more or less on the island of Nevis and St. Kitts? How will this make a difference? Are the journal probably going to see the difference when it comes to more food, extra 2%, 1%? What is expected from the additional water output from that area?
Well, that's why I say one element cannot determine, because we cannot say that one element is the factor that limited the production. But definitely one problem that you solve, you should see some improvement. You understand? You should see some improvement, because storage of water storage is a main limiting factor. You understand? So now you have a 30,000 extra gallon. It's not a lot. I got to be clear with that. It's not a lot, but it's a significant amount. You understand? Because farming demands a lot of water. We cannot. We have to be clear about that. Water demands, farming demands a lot of water. You understand? But that is, that will help the situation. And for those people who has domestic water, you have domestic water. If you could get a little extra water every once a week, that will help you with the water bill, and they will encourage you, understand, to increase your production. So this is very significant. And this is something that we appreciate, and everybody should be appreciative of it. You understand? This will help. It should help. But you have to put in place your other plans. You have to have the discussion, because I got to go back on that thing. You have to have the discussion. You have to sit down with the farmer. You have to tell farmers, we're not satisfied with your production. And the farmer has to say to the institutions, I need help in this area. And when we come together, we have to see the difference. In 1 month, no. In 3 months, no. But we have to see some difference. We need to know that you want to come up from the ground, you understand, and that all together. Because if we're not together, we're not going to make it. That is something that we have to forget about. We have to come together. It's not about to blame agriculture, to blame farmers, no, it's just that all of us are failing to achieve our target. All of us as a one unity are failing. So therefore we have to come together. And we have to move forward. We have to move forward, because the wait will be a lot easier for all of us. That's it. That's it. As simple as that. We have to move forward together.
Yes, son.
Yes. We in terms of okay, we spoke tonight about focusing on at least, let's say, one crop, and get to the point where we can either reduce the import bill by a certain number, or we begin to create some sort of value added product from that. Do you think that might be something that the cooperative can begin doing per se? Like maybe
No,
not at this point.
no. What I said, no, we didn't say one crop. We presented the potential crops, commodities that we could emphasize. So it's for us as an island, as a group, to determine which of these core crops are priorities that we could manage in the near future, and which we have to push a little far. So we have to concentrate in the production of this. And then after we satisfy ourselves that we have some significant increase in the production to reduce the importation, then we have to concentrate if from this list we could also go to value added. I don't like to mix production with value added. It's too separate.
Mr. James.
It's too separate. Huh?
I remember we did a workshop with farmers on cold crops, broccoli, cauliflower
Yes.
over in the river, cabbage,
Yes.
and all of those crops. 90% of those crops was bought by Charleston Primary School's kitchen.
Yes. Yes.
Most of 90% of the crop, you couldn't have enough cabbage to sell Charleston Primary, enough broccoli, enough cauliflower, and the others basically were done by the vendors them in the market. Was just a easy, and that was a farmers field school, so it need more initiative like these things to take place.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
Well,
And that was
Banky,
on an acre land. Yes.
Banky,
That's why I say all the time we have to go back to basics. We always have to go and revise what we did before that we have to revise to improve now. That's why, because it was a farmer field school with emphasis in cold crop, which is broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, and onions. Those commodities. It was because of necessity, because of market opportunity. We cannot grow cabbage year round, even though we have some greenhouses, but at least we could reduce how much we need to reduce the cabbage, how much we could do on cauliflower or broccoli, how much we could do. That's for us to sit down, all of us together, and say, we could do 25, 30,000 pounds of cabbage. Let's start from there. Let's see where we go. And that's it. That's it. But we have to determine that we want to do it. And everybody involved, when we talk the same language. It will come perfect. Of course not. But we have to start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. Because cabbage, basically, I don't see no local cabbage in the supermarket at all. We used to have some in the past. We have a lot of pests and diseases problem, but we have to manage them. We have to overcome them. You know what I'm saying?
You know, Mr. James, I hear you, and I've heard you several times allude to the challenge of being a farmer, having a farm, and also dealing with the business or the value added side of it, right? However, let's look at, for example, and in a cooperative perspective, right? Or even from a national perspective, because this is one of the things that we were talking about in terms of seeking to involve the agro processing to guarantee to some extent the offtake from the farmers. So let's say, for example, let's use the example of, even if it's not New Rivers Cooperative, but let's say it's another cooperative, another group. You have you select a product like, say, a green seasoning, and you know the ingredients that is needed for the green seasoning, whether it's onion or whatever, whatever it is that you need. But then within that group now you have, because you would have different farmers who may be farming different things, but then you have within the group now people who are going to cultivate all of the ingredients, and you from the group is going to be able to guarantee them that you'll take whatever it is, because you're going to be making this green seasoning that is going to be packaged and labeled. So the farmers who are going to farm, they're going to continue farming, but they're going to be maybe other members of the cooperative that is going to deal with that aspect of it. However, the product itself, now marketing it and all of that is another aspect of it. So I guess, yes, as you talk about planning for those things and making sure that you prepare for that aspect of it. But what I'm looking at is how the agro processing and the marketing can help to guarantee the farmer an offtake of whatever the ingredients is. So that's where I see the business helping to some extent, guaranteeing the farmer whatever it is that they're producing. So I see it go hand in hand. I understand where you're saying that if you're the farmer, you might not necessarily want to focus on the processing, because one might suffer, because you might get so caught up with the processing that you might neglect the farming to some extent. But I am seeing where they marry each other to some extent and create a formula, because I keep saying this for even our local farmers' perspective. If the agro processing unit was more active and if marketing was more vibrant, um, then there could be a guarantee for the farmers. Okay, look, we're going to be making, Banky use the example of sorrel. We're going to be making sorrel jam. So farmers, how much of a sorrel you bring in, we're taking it out for you, because we could dry it. Even if we got a surplus of it, we could dry it and package it, and we can make the jam. So now farmers know that if I plant sorrel, the agriculture is going to pay me $3 a pound, whatever. I'm just using a figure, right? But it's a set figure, so you know that I'm getting this. And no matter how much I get, I don't have to worry about spoilage. I don't have to worry about it telling me, buy, I have too much, and I don't have to. No. the program have to be set that you take whatever it is. It will be up to your marketing and processing to deal with that. The farmer can still, if they want to sell to their own personal, if they have another outsource or something, so you're not denying them that. But what you think about that?
And well,
Everything
answer
to
that
be
question, Mr.
discussed.
James. Well, answer the question. You go into a wrap up at the same time. Kind of may take
Yeah.
you into a little bit, so we just saying everything one time.
Everything to be discussed. We have to discuss. We have to go to base, back to base. We have to sit down. We have to discuss what can we do now, what we should do now, and what we want to do, step by step. The problem right now is that we need to increase the production of fresh fruit and vegetable. Processing is a step that we could think about it in our discussion if we achieve this now. But the reality is I would prefer at this moment, discussion tonight, to keep the two separate at two open options. But we're not going to marry them right now because we need to solve one, then to go into that. Okay? Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here. I just want to say hello to Walcott James in New Jersey, to my brothers in New York, in Miami, my family in St. Kitts, and wherever they are looking at this, I just want to say hello to them.
Well, I just got information here that Jamaica will be getting one of the worst cold front. I'm not sure what's going
Okay,
on with this kind of weather.
hold on. There's a caller on the line, Banky. So let's take the caller. Good evening, caller.
Yes, good evening, Banky. Good evening, Yasan. Good evening, the guests. Listen, everything agriculture always been the best. And let me give you a little idea how local people can participate in producing. And as long as there is a buyer, there will be a seller. So, example, I am in the recycle business. And the state regulate a soda bottle, whether it's water, Coke, or whatever, etc. And most of this stuff here are recyclable. The state regulate at, in Connecticut, 10 cents. And it doesn't matter how much you have. These entities that buy them, it could never be enough because they are commodities and they put in them back into recycle. Now with the food, regardless of what, whether it's cassava, potato, etc., etc. As long as there is a rate and as long as there will be a buyer, the end game will be the buyer passing it on to the consumers, whether in whatever they can produce from that produce. So it is encouraging. If there are no encouragement, then there wouldn't be no success. And effort plus energy equals success. And it has to be married. The farmer has to marry to the buyers, and the buyer will be married to the consumers. So that's a very good idea. I was just going to listen, but I just pick up on that point. Whatever rate you always set per pound for whatever, then the seller or the producers will tune into it. They know they will make a money and probably right on the spot. They bring in 100 pounds of whatever. They get paid on the spot because the end game, you the processor will be making a bigger profit than what they sold out. Right. And that's what the game is all about.
Right.
I will leave it right there.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. You came in a little bit on the latter end when you're wrapping up, but I just gave you a chance to make your point since you were the only caller. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. James, it was really a pleasure having you on the program. It's usually always a pleasure having you, and you bring in the stats and the facts, and like the caller said, this program, we always, as much as possible, try to diversify the program and have different issues and different areas that we engage in. And I think our listeners generally appreciate when you do come on the platform and especially when it comes to the statistics and some of the topics that we engage in. So I want to welcome you back. I remember you saying something about wait until the Agri Fair, and then after we look at this, maybe after Agri Expo this year, we could look at the statistics. We could probably come back and look at the statistics and look at, what we could do now for the next 30 years, and your suggestions and how we could, make our way forward. Banky, is always a pleasure, being on the platform with you. Real Entertainment Network team want to say thank you very much for keeping us